Hey guys, welcome to the show. Look at this beautiful day. I am now wearing the new microphone, as you can see. My brother got me this little extension. He got me a microphone adapter for the Insta 360, and then I bought this Boya wireless microphone kit, which attaches to it, and you can't see it because it's in the stitch line of the Insta 360. It looks really good. It's a local time, 8 o'clock in the morning. Look at this, how beautiful it is. It is amazing. So I'm going out for a walk. My brother's here from Canada with his husband, and they are having a great time. So it is Friday morning. They arrived Wednesday morning. So Wednesday they just chilled out. They hung around. I went and picked them up at the airport. Funny story. You guys saw the video earlier, how Mom came late. That was hilarious. But it turns out that we pulled up to the airport just as they were walking out of the terminal. So they had time to go to the duty free and take care of everything. So that was really good and convenient. Anyway, and he didn't do Silk Route like I normally do. You guys have seen me do Silk Route before. He said they just flew through. They didn't have any bags or anything. Little kitty. Come here. Nope. Scared little cat. That's a beautiful looking cat. I really want a cat. So anyway, today I want to say thank you to everybody for joining, and let's talk about how to survive in the corporate world today. See you guys in a minute. So, you guys saw a video I did last week about why you shouldn't work for Carrot Global. And I'm going to say it again, don't work for them. If you want to know why, reach out to me, watch the video. I'll put the link here. Ooh, big bus coming. School bus. It's morning time for the kids, going to school. So, kids are just going to school. It is hot. It is so hot. 8 o'clock in the morning and it's hot. So anyway, I have some advice that I want to give out to you guys about working corporately, working even as a freelancer. It doesn't really matter what you work, but some of the things that you should probably not do, and red flags and stuff like that. Now, things have changed in the work world since I was in the work world. Just to give some updates for those of you who are new, thank you for joining. I'm Sri Lankan Sammi, retired with mom and dad. I'm a Canadian citizen, 55 years old, semi-retired in Sri Lanka. I'm currently, for the last 14, 15 years, I've been working as a consultant, teacher, club manager, nightclub manager in Seoul, South Korea. In the last 2 years, been semi-retired in Sri Lanka. So, hopefully the audio is working well on this. I've learned a few things. My prior life in Canada, I was an account executive and director of sales for Bell Canada. And I worked for Bell for 20 odd years, 22 years. And I learned a few things, and I look back on my life and my work life, and I'm like, why did I do that? Why? That was so not what I should have done. Now, as a freelancer, I have a lot more freedom. And because I don't have a visa, like I'm not tied to a work visa. I have a permanent residence visa, which allows me to do whatever I want. So I have more freedoms. When you're tied down because of a visa, my smartwatch just beeped. I'm just curious as to why it did that. It is crowded today. Wow. Look at all the traffic. Everybody's going to work, everybody's going to school. There's another school right here, or is this a daycare? Anyway, if you're tied down because of a visa, then you really need to be careful before you start working to suss out the work, make sure that the company fits you and that you fit the company. On the other hand, what happens with people is that they get into a job and then they get into debt where they have no choice but to work because they don't have savings. And therefore, that's what gets you into trouble or into stress, because you can't quit. Since you have debt, you can't quit. You have this fear, oh, what if I get fired? I can't pay my bills. And that's where the problems start. Because when your boss comes to you and says, can you work extra? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Then you're like, I can't say no. Because then they're gonna blacklist me. Then they're gonna not promote me. Then I'm not gonna get extra hours if you're a part-timer. So you gotta be careful, set yourself up for success. And this is where people need to learn to not be afraid to say no. Your boss isn't going to fire you because you say no. They need you. Now, no one is indispensable, right? The first person they lay off is you when it comes to profits and stuff. They lay you off, right? So, morning. So the reality is that you need to look out for yourself. When negotiating your pay, don't undercut yourself just to get the job. They're offering you the job. Wow, it's crowded. They're offering you the job, right? So if they come at you and say, we're gonna give you, $50 an hour, you say, sorry, I'm interested in $75 an hour. You negotiate. They're not gonna say no. They're gonna come in with a counter offer. They're not gonna rescind the job offer just because you ask for more money or vacation or some kind of benefit. Switch sides here. So that's what people are. They're afraid to ask for money. That's the biggest fear people have when negotiating a job. I had a company say that, we'll give you a raise after 3 months. I said, no. You will pay me what I am worth because I've been doing this job for 15 years. well, we don't know you. I said, well, that's not the issue. The issue is you're paying for my expertise. You're paying for my experience. Now, you will quickly realize whether or not I'm a good teacher or not within the first week. That's the investment, that's the risk you need to take. I'm not going to undercut myself just because you see risk, okay? It's your company, it's you took the risk in starting your business. I'm not undercutting myself, that's just not fair to me. And 3 months, there's no way it takes 3 months for you to suss out whether or not I'm a good teacher or not. You interviewed me, you saw my resume, you know I'm a good candidate. Now, pay me what my worth is. Well, that's not what we do. And well, that's not what I do. That's my policy. I don't undercut my pay. If you want a quality teacher that's going to benefit your business, then that's who I am. If you want a cheap teacher who's gonna just, you know, if that's the kind of company you are, then go ahead and hire some 20-year-old who will work for nothing, okay? But that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna benefit your business. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now that's what happened to me. Wow, it is busy here. I've never seen it. I've never been out this early. I usually go out around after lunch or before lunch. So another time, so that was when that's when I'm working as a freelancer here in Korea. And I have a lot of freedom because of my visa and because of my job. I can do what I want, when I want, how I want. Now, let me go back to when I was a young man, teenager, and ignorant. Let's go back 35, 40 years ago. Yeah, about 37 years ago. I was a teenager working at Le Chateau, which was a clothing store. And it was kind of prestigious because it was the store to work at the mall, right? Everyone wanted to work there because it was the store, right? And I started at Christmas time as a salesperson, Christmas salesperson. And I quickly showed my sales skill. I was a good salesman. I've always been a good salesman. I had it inside of me. I'm a talker. You guys see that. And I quickly showed how good I was, and they promoted me. Very quickly, after Christmas, they asked me to stay on as assistant manager, which was like, okay, great. More money, more hours, basically a full-time job. I wasn't doing anything at that time. So I started working for them. I think I was in high school. Yeah, I was in high school at the time. So I was working. I was the weekend manager, basically. They needed somebody to run things on the weekends and in the evenings. So the regular manager would work the 5 days, Monday to Friday, and then the Saturday daytime, like open. And then have like a half day off during the week, or something like, I don't know, anyway. Like Mondays they would have off or something, because Mondays were slow. I don't remember. So I worked evenings, like 5, 6 until closing, which was 9, 10, and then weekends. So I did very well. But then one Sunday, I think it was just me and another staff member. Now, I had no basic training. They just threw me in the job. You have to remember, this is the late 80s. Now, I didn't have any debt or anything like that, but I was very happy with my job. And so then what happened was, somebody came in with a large bill, like a $50 bill or something like that. And I went across the hallway to the next store over. I could still see my store to get change. And the staff member that was working with me was a brown noser. And she told the district manager or the manager that I left the store. Technically, I'm not supposed to leave the store. If I want anything from lunch, I have to send the employee to go get it for me, for my lunch. I have to eat my lunch in the store. I can't leave. So I got a written warning for that. Stupidly, I signed it. I should have disputed it and said, no, fire me. Because they wouldn't have fired me. They wouldn't have, because they needed somebody. They were desperate. And I didn't realize that. There's the trick. If you know that they need you, then challenge them. If they don't need you, then you're not worth anything to them. And you're just an employee. You're not family. There's no such thing as family in a company. Okay? Actually, that's the worst thing you can do, because families are the first people to stab you in the back. By the way, I want to thank everyone for watching so far. If you guys like what I'm doing, you've been watching it so far, you enjoy what I'm doing, can you please click the like button? Can you please just put a emoji comment? Or if you want to comment on what I'm doing or what you'd like to see or what you don't like, let me know, because what happens is, if your profile, like what I'm doing and you engage with me, the algorithm sees that, the YouTube algorithm sees that, and then will post my video to other people like you that fit the algorithm. Helps my channel get out more. So I really appreciate that. Lots of love to you guys for doing that. So I didn't realize that I had power over them, because they needed a good quality employee, responsible, intelligent. For some strange reason, I grew up in a town where people were not very intelligent. They were smart, but not very intelligent. And it was a country town, and the clothing was very city-ish, and I was very hip and city-ish compared to the other people that were there, who didn't understand fashion, who didn't understand layering, didn't understand accessories, didn't understand coordination. So the second time I got a written warning, you have an employee discount, very generous employee discount. And then the rule was you cannot buy more than one item of the same item, because you're buying it for friends and family. That discount is for you alone, not for friends and family. So there was a discount bin for last items or returned items or damaged items, and it was a huge discount. And then on top of that, I got my employee discount. So what's going on here? I'm just going to turn around and go back. So what ended up happening was, I bought this one sweater, and then my girlfriend at the time took the sweater without my permission. And then I went and got another sweater. Now, it wasn't exactly the same one, but the ID number, the SKU number was the same, but it wasn't the same sweater. So when I was called in on that, I explained it. Well, this girl I was dating took my sweater. He said, well, you can't do that. I said, well, I didn't give it to her. The rule is there for intent. And I said, it's actually not even the same sweater. They don't even look alike. I said, well, the SKU number is the same. So they were by the book, which I was like, I should have challenged him on that. And I was like, no, I'm not signing it. And they said, well, you're gonna be fired if you don't. And I'm like, ah, hell, I didn't want the drama, so I just signed it. Because the thing is I didn't see myself as a career in that company, so I didn't care, right? I didn't care. But always challenge, especially in this day and age. I hate using that word, but especially in this time, challenge, always challenge. Another thing I remember working for, I don't know if it was for Bell Canada or for another company. No, it wasn't for Bell, it was for a company before I worked for Bell. I was a salesman and a new director came in. New director came in at the end of the year, like October, November, December. And I had already planned on taking vacation December, January. And I think I was going to Sri Lanka because it was a 3-week vacation, 2 or 3 week vacation. A week before Christmas, the week of Christmas, and a week after Christmas, a week after New Year. So altogether, about 2 or 3 weeks. I don't remember the exact amount, it was so long ago. Wow, it is busy here today. So, the director came to me about a month before. He says, yeah, I noticed that your time off request. And I said, yeah, he says, well, do you think that that's a good idea considering your numbers? Because my numbers were not good at that time. It was in the middle of a recession. And I said, well, and I challenged him because at this point I didn't care. I knew I was quitting in a few months. And he's like trying to guilt me into why am I taking vacation? I said, well, first of all, I'm entitled to vacation. Second of all, based on my years of experience, nobody does business during Christmas. So I can make 1 million phone calls. I'll probably get 5 people who are still in the office. He says, well, those are 5 sales that you can make. And I said, yeah, but the signing officer is not going to be there because the signing officer is an executive who takes vacation, which they're entitled to. The only people who are not taking a vacation are the junior employees who have to be at work because they don't have seniority. They've used up all their vacation and somebody has to be in the office, but they have no signing authority. And he says, well, you don't know that unless you try. I said, I've been doing this job for years. I know that. He says, well, I'm just concerned that your numbers are not going to be positive for the year-end review. And I said, well, that's my problem that I'm going to have to deal with at my year-end review. And I believe that I have done the job that is required for me to achieve those numbers. And any extra work that I do is not going to be able to achieve the numbers. So that is my issue to deal with. And he's just looking at me because I challenged him. Turns out that 3 months later, he was gone. He didn't work there anymore. So, and I had resigned from the company at that time as well. I think that was just before I left for Korea. Yeah, it was a company that I worked for just before I came to Korea. What else? Basically, what I'm saying to you is, don't say no from fear. Because the reality is, unless you live in a poor country, unless you live in recession times, if you get laid off, if you get fired, if you quit, you can always find another job. But the best rule of thumb is don't get yourself into that stressful situation. And that stressful situation is debt. Don't get yourself into debt. Always have 6 months worth of money saved that you can use in the event you get fired, in the event you get laid off. That way, there's no stress. Somebody comes over and lays you off, no problem. I have 6 months to find myself a job. What's my severance package? Oh, you're gonna give me 6 months? So I have a year to find a new job before I lose money. And the interim, in today's world, you can get an online job that pays you like nothing, all right? But it still is something, right? And you take some time off. You take a week, you take 2 weeks off to chill out and relax. And then you get right back into looking for a job. The other thing you do is you network. Network, network, network. Always know people. Always be reaching out to people on a quarterly basis just to touch base. Hey, are you still at this company XY? Oh, great. Yeah, no, I'm still happy at the position I have, but I'm always looking for the next challenge. So here's my updated resume. If you know anything, reach out. I'd be more than happy to interview. And then use ChatGPT to create an amazing resume, okay? Go online to YouTube and figure out how to use ChatGPT so that the anti-ChatGPT features don't show up on your ChatGPT resume. I don't know. I've used ChatGPT and it works amazing and it does great work for me. I wrote my resume with it. I write all my reports, my monthly reports that go to students. I write all of those using ChatGPT. And I even won $500 Canadian in a contest for the Korean Tourism Organization on my positive experience teaching in South Korea, a 700-word essay. I won 3rd prize, which is exactly the prize I wanted, which was $500 cash, credit card. I gave it to my brother. He used it to pay off a home renovation bill at the construction shop. It's perfect, perfect, perfect gift. So I think the reason why people, hey guys, so the camera did that thing again where it shuts off because it's getting too hot. So I guess I'm just gonna wrap it up here by saying the number one thing to remember is don't get yourself into that stressful situation. Avoid being in debt, okay? So if you can avoid being in debt, then you won't have that issue. You won't have that issue. You can tell people to F off when they challenge you. And you're not gonna be afraid to say no. I see people, sorry about the sunlight there. I see people today. Sorry, can't put it over there, I have to put it over here. I see people today working for $15, $20 an hour as an online teacher because they don't know their worth, right? The salary and rate of pay for online teachers has not increased in the 10 years that I've worked. In the 15 years that I've been in Korea, the salaries have not gone up. So there's something to be said, especially in a transient community as English teachers, where new teachers are always coming in, trying to find work and accept the first job they get because they have no money. Or they apply for a job from overseas, get a visa, and that's it. So as a resident, or as a permanent resident, it's more difficult for me to fight that. But because I have experience, because I have age, education, and references, I get good jobs. So keep that in mind. Let me know what you think, and remember, learn to live life. Don't let life live you. I am Sri Lankan Sammi, retired with mom and dad, telling you guys, please be good to each other, be happy, be safe. I am out.